Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Woo. Check 1 2 1 2.
Check 1 2. This thing on. Can you hear me?
Sounding like you again.
Ooh.
Me. There we go. Check 1 2. There it is. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. We got a little internet lag going on. Bear with us. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023, a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning. Thank you for all of you who's coming out here to check us out, man. I'm Paul B. This is Buddi3 Da Gawd. And all of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners. Yes, we are here. Wednesday, August 2nd. It's going down. Buddy is back in Atlanta. How you feeling over there, buddy?
Man, jet lagged.
So was your internet, I think.
Yeah.
Jet lag too.
Yeah, I'm going to have to speak it. Have to speak and wait.
Yeah, thanks for like I said, bear with us. We know that we got a little internet issue going on this morning. We're trying to get that fixed as we go. But you know us, rain or shine, sleet or snow, we're gonna be on here. Matter of fact, I'm very much under the weather, not feeling good at all. So if my voice starts cracking this time in the morning, bear with me. I should be laying down, not feeling good.
Man,
you feeling okay? I hope you feeling okay. Are you rested since you got back?
Yeah, I had to take the day to charge, if you will. Yeah, I'm feeling better. Still trying to get back into the swing of things. So, yeah.
That's what's up. Good morning to all that's in the chat already. I'm seeing Pop says good Wednesday morning, First Sky, and love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops. Leigh Keister says, "What's up, Wednesday?" I like it.
What up?
Pop says all sounds well. Appreciate that. Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning. Mark Manor gives us a good morning. Appreciate you guys getting up, and you guys are over there on Facebook and YouTube. So do us a favor, share the show. Looks like Facebook and YouTube is working this morning, so that's a good thing. One less problem to have to worry about right now. So it's all good. Once again, just to let you know, we're having a little bit of internet lag, so it's probably not you this time. It's probably us this time. But bear with us and let us know if it gets too bad and all that good stuff. But here we are, Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023. And guess what, y'all? Got a surprise for y'all today. So even though we're not doing Women's Wednesday anymore, or we're not doing the Precious McKesson, we're not doing the politicking with P in particular, right? Or what's good in the hood with Kimara. We are having Precious and Kimara on today, just by chance, to talk about the things that we're doing with the neighborhood association stuff. So we're going to be talking about neighborhoods today, and we're going to deep dive in with the ladies on those situations, how the neighborhoods hold power, what we can do with the neighborhood associations. Again, putting that challenge out to everyone that's listening to join their neighborhood associations or form one in your neighborhood if you don't have one. So that's kind of like a topic of the conversation today, among some other things, most definitely. But before we get into all that, brother, I see Mir Sanchez. He says, "I don't want to go outside in the rain." May sound crazy. Yes, very
Mm,
thunderstormy and rainy out here today, buddy. I don't know how the weather is over there in Atlanta, but we're getting pretty big rain going on here right now.
really? Wasn't it kind of rainy on Monday when I left?
Yep,
Yeah.
been
I'm just gonna say it seems like that heat over the weekend.
that's what it feels like. It does feel like big relief since that heat hit us so hard. But so you know, I don't mind it. I'm not really out in it, but yeah, we getting a little rain and the temperature has dropped. That humid heat, crazy heat, is dissipated some. So good thing for us over here, anyway.
Yeah, actually, it's been kind of warm here. Not too bad last couple of days. It does look like though it's been storming here though, so maybe it's just a nation thing. I'm seeing these big trees and split in half everywhere. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened before I got here, but yeah, yeah.
You just missed the storm. Sounds like Pops says I truly miss the Omaha rain. I didn't know that, Pops. I didn't know you miss Omaha rain. Uh, I miss it too because I feel like it's different. The rain is different than it is here in California. Like it'll rain for about 2 hours or an hour and a half here and there, and then it's done. Like I'm used to it raining all day if it rains and stuff like that. But man, just when I'm getting into chilling with it, the clouds break up every time. So I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
that's
different.
how it was Sunday. Sunday again, that rain came through, and then towards the end of the day, that sun finally peeked back out before it set. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and the pendulum swings.
Pendulum swings for real. Anything else? What else is going on? We still want to hear from you about your adventures in last weekend. What you did last
Yeah.
weekend? If you saw the fight, where you saw the fight at? If you hung out for Native Omaha days, what shows did you see? What gatherings did you go to? Tell us about Maha. I heard it rained there too, and everybody was running for shelter. How did it go? How did the
Hmm.
rain hit Maha? Yeah, let us know about some of these things. I'm looking more and more at some of the Maha footage, and like I said, brother Mark Manner got me interested in looking at some of these acts. It looked like it was a pretty good day, pretty good event. So
Okay.
good turnout and everything too. So yeah, there's a I'd like to hear more about what happened at Maha for sure.
Then brother Mark post some of the act.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's what got me kind of looking at it. I was really appreciating that. Also, it got me thinking about how Afrofest is coming up too. They usually do it at the Exarban. They do it over there at Exarban too. So Afrofest has been growing
Hmm.
over the past 3 or 4 years. I heard Marcy say he was going to do something about Afrofest over there too. So,
Okay.
we got to see what's going on with Afrofest coming up. I think it usually hits in September or somewhere around there.
Also, this is surprising. There's a fest coming up at the slow down waiting room back to hip hop. They're having a whole festival. Those venues coming up right in your neighborhood, neck of the woods.
What kind of festival? What's this on? Now I got to see what this is about.
I, I'll, I'll send you the flyer, or we can find it. But yeah, I mean, had some heads that I'm familiar
Hmm.
with on there. Some I'm not too familiar with.
All right.
I think Jay Crum had posted it. He was talking about the lineup was crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah, for
So
those who
look.
don't know, waiting room
Yeah.
for kind of shunning. There was an incident at their venue. Young man lost his life, and they basically didn't really handle it the best. Than supporting the community, they just kind of shunned it. No more hip hop shows, which go off the bat.
No more local hip hop shows. That's what they were saying. No more local hip hop shows. No more young people hip hop shows. They still had Devin the Dude. They still had bigger hip hop shows come through, and sell that. But yeah, so interesting. Um, and it was you just reminded me about something about that too because we were kind of involved. We were going to throw a Afrofuturism show around that
Mm-hmm.
time that all that kind of backlash happened. We ended up not being able to throw it there because of so much backlash. Like nobody was going to support it because they weren't going to go to Reverb or Waiting Room after that. our crowds, a lot of our crowds anyway. And
Yeah.
it was like I was on the phone with those guys, and they were giving me the explanation about how the city and the police kind of told them don't
Mm.
do it, or else you ain't gonna have no protection. They were stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, I didn't really appreciate how they handled it, but in the end, they chose their business and their families. They were just like, well, if it comes down to making you guys mad and everything else, then we in making the police mad and making the police shut us down because we having hip hop shows, we were just going to have to do that. Um, and then that would have been fine, but then after that they kind of went into, and we've done so much to support hip hop in this city anyway. You guys should be thanking us. And I was just like, okay,
Yeah, you cross
all
the
right,
line.
guys,
Cross the line.
you didn't have to go that far.
And then the brother Mark Manor in the chat saying Four Winds Festival put on by Nice Enough Entertainment. That's the name of it. And yeah, it's not all hip hop, but heads in there. I think there's some other things going on, but a lot of hip hop in that. I also forgot
All right.
about that whole situation. Thanks for bringing that. Was it to their liquor license or something? Kind of the same situation we saw happen with the with Throwback Lounge.
Yeah. Throwback was the same kind of language that was happening with Throwback. They were getting threatened that certain types they couldn't do certain types of shows and stuff like that. So we didn't really do too much reporting on it, but we were hearing at the time about how they were getting treated. They're getting treated by the city. I mean, the city and the police department put pressure on them. Like, you can have certain kinds of shows, and we'll just have to stick with that. And a lot of these venues will go with just have to go with that. Those guys over at Throwback Lounge have been fighting. They've been fighting hard. I've seen them do testimony in city council meetings and stuff like that where they was fighting for it. So it's still a thing, man. And this is a few years after. I don't know if you guys remember, but back in like 2014, 13, 14, 15, that was a whole wave of black clubs and stuff like that shutting down downtown because of there might be an incident outside, and all of a sudden the city was trying to shut the whole club down. So after all the mainstream clubs started shutting down, and Axter, we started trying to find other places to do hip hop in other places. Then just the acts themselves, the hip hop acts themselves started getting shut down at the white venues. So it's just been a battle for especially local young hip hop to do anything. And yeah, there's incidents there, but I come from LA, where I come from, the LA club scene, where there's always enough security, off-duty police officers, people patrolling the parking lots. They kind of gear up for incidents, so you got to kind of do that too. You can't just mom and pop it. I remember there being around that time there was some incidents where there was like a shooting at the Slowdown at one point. And that was the big thing there. The employees had to handle that because they really didn't have any security there, and everybody was kind of, I don't know why everybody's against getting more security for their venue, but maybe it's because they never had to with other kinds of shows. Not sure, but
Yeah.
whatever the deal is, big issue.
Yeah, actually had this conversation with some DJ friends back there in Omaha. Shout out to Jiki, shout out whole crew. About making this goes into the brain drain conversation with Senator McKinney, as far as how do you keep young people of quote unquote color in the city? How do you keep the workforce diversity? How do you keep young professionals? And there has to be some kind of nightlife work. What do you do? Where do you go? If you do, then most likely I'm going to find a city. And quite honestly, there's nothing to do for young, not even just professionals, just for young people in general. There's not much for young, which leads to a bunch of other issues. So yeah, that's one thing that I did look for while I was there, just kind of driving around, like, where are the spots? Like, where are the people at? Few and far between, man.
Yeah, Mark Manners giving us an update on it. He says they have been doing tons of local hip hop, talking about the 1% guys that own the Reverb Lounge and Waiting Room. Tons of local hip hop in the last 2 years, but yeah, that situation was hard for everyone. This goes back decades. Clubs will start doing hip hop and then have to get out of it. Decades. That's interesting. Yeah. This is the man that Brother Manor has been in the scene for decades, so he can tell us about this. You talking when you said they? Were you talking about 1% guys, or were you talking about the slowdown situation? Let us know on that. Amy H. Dot gives us a good morning. Christy Nor gives us a good morning. Rick Fulton is back making some statements. I can see. And we definitely need to talk about again, remind how we discuss things here on the channel. Don't we appreciate information, but we definitely need to be in a discussion about it. So let's retain that if we can. And speaking of discussion, let's go ahead and get into it. This is a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning
In the morning.
with a little internet lag going on with us today. So bear with us. But I appreciate you guys joining us. 7:15 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're gonna kick it off. Stay tuned. More discussion to come. It's going down. What up? What up? What up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for bearing with us. We're having some internet difficulties. Internet is really slow today and slowing us down in a big way. And so, yeah, if you can bear with us, let us know if it gets too bad. But we're going to just go ahead and push on through, just like we're pushing on through for, for the show's sake. I'm definitely under the weather, so if my voice starts cracking and stuff like that, please bear with me. But we're on. Buddy's back in Atlanta, and hopefully he's rested up because I'm, like I said, not feeling great.
Man.
But anyway, thanks for joining us, and we really appreciate everybody coming on early this morning.
Thanks to everybody in the chat, especially for bearing with us with this lag. But yeah, as Paul said, we're here doing the thing and here to talk to you about some things. Actually, Rick Fulton, I do appreciate your comment about the city budget. We may have to look into that. He says, time to comment of Omaha budget, and actually gives us some directives, which one thing that we would like to see, giving us information. Where can the people go? What can they do? He says, email your city council person and copy Elizabeth Butler, city clerk, to get it on the record. So again, if you want to make a comment on the city budget, you can email your city council person and copy Elizabeth Butler, city clerk, to get it on record. He says large budget increase by $309 million. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we started. We talked about it when it was going down, so we kind of brought it up and had some discussion a little bit about it. Concerned about how much money was going to the police department and so on and so forth. But yeah, it's definitely worth another take, another look at it and discussion about it. And yes, comment too. This is all about season 6 is all about boots to the roots. And so that means we're talking about taking action on a lot of things as we can. So we'll definitely look into it. He also goes on to talk about streetcar funding scheme, includes a TIF scam helped along by Senator Wayne, changing state law to name the downtown are blighted as another favor for Mr. Wayne did for wealthy developers. I don't really agree with that one at all. So you got to get your facts straight on that. He did put in a petition to extend he said he didn't want to vote for the streetcar, and if they were going to do it, then they would have to extend it over north in order for people on the north side to have access to that streetcar system too. So that wasn't really a scheme for wealthy developers in the way that you're putting it there. So we'll definitely have the facts straight on that when the senators come on Monday. That'll be a good time to discuss that. So maybe you can save your questions and comments for Monday when the senators come on. They can answer themselves on that one. Mark Manor is saying he was talking about the venues from the 90s and beyond. Well before Waiting Room and Slowdown, the city has always pushed hip hop out of the clubs.
Man,
definitely get that feeling. Definitely get the feeling that that's going to continue to go on for sure.
For sure. But in other news, speaking of the senators and making comment, I definitely want to dive into what happened on Monday's hearing. Again, there was an education committee hearing on social emotional learning, and also big shout out to Senator McKinney, who has same day to kind of clear up some facts as well. So big shout out to anybody who made it out to that. Hopefully, there was some clarity reached at the end. But there's some very shocking comments. I don't know, shocking. We'll get into it, but some very questionable comments from the Senate chair on the Education Committee. So yeah, we got to get into that. Also, looking at the whole Trump situation again, we are gearing up for next year's election. The time is ticking. Of course, there are people already gearing up for their campaign. If you were at the Omaha days, some literature and saw some posters or signs being held and people walking in the parade. So of course that election cycle already starting up. Some controversy coming out. Talk about that. What's going on from the 2020 and possibly what to look out for coming election. Again, it's going to be controversial. We're also looking at neighborhoods. Talking to neighborhoods, we will be expecting Kimara Snipes and Precious McKesson put some respect on their names to come through and speak with us. And still looking at affordable housing situations in the neighborhoods and exactly what can we do to empower each other. So again, a lot of things to talk about as always. If there's something that we're not talking about on the show that you feel like we should be, go ahead and drop that in the chat. In the meantime, in between time, Paul B, what's up?
Mhm. Yeah, just want to remind people that we have this training coming up here on Saturday. It's starting on Saturday, so if you are so inclined to jump in and get with some of this content creators camp that we got going on here, it's starting Saturday. The introduction event is happening at 10 o'clock, and just want to keep putting it out there. If you're interested in this, then hit us up at info@firstsky.omaha.com. Buddy, I forgot to tell you, I made a little flyer that look a little closer to kind of first. just,
I was
just
like,
so
yeah, it looks
just so people can just so people understand this is our event. We put a little bit more of our branding on this one, so this is also one. If you need this to use to put out with people too, then go ahead and do that. I can send that to you. But this will be at the Elevator Spaces, 1402 Jones Street. August 5th is when we start. Saturday, 10 o'clock, and it's a 12-week course, so it goes to October 28th. So if you want to become a citizen journalist, you want to enhance your content creator skills to be a digital storyteller for your neighborhood, join us for our inaugural Content Creators Training Academy. This year's camp will feature presentations from local experts and principles of citizen journalism, solutions journalism, multimedia creation, and more. You can help us put this army together of what we're trying to do with these citizen journalists, man, keeping track of what's going on, the powers that be, using the fourth estate really to watch what's going on and then move people to action. So that's what it's all about. Dr. Carol Zugner, Chris Bowling, Abby Kretz, Keatron Zykel. I'll be also a instructor. So we're going to have this course going on for 12 weeks. We highly encourage everybody to sign up to this and to make all 12 weeks. But if you can't, then that's cool too. If you can sign up and make some, that would be great too. But this is a free training. So if you want to help us with this Boots on the Roots campaign, season 6, highly encourage you to come to this, and we're going to keep pushing it until Saturday for sure. So just want to remind people that's what's up. And what you see us doing here is a direct product from the citizen journalist and actual journalist. Buddy has his journalism degree, so we are learning from actual journalists, actual professors of journalism, and citizen journalists, writers, and digital content creators. That's what this is all about. So if you're so inclined, hit us up, info@firstsky.omaha.com, or you can hit me on Facebook or anything else. We'll be showing this throughout the show so that we can maybe get as many people as we can in on Saturday. So just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention again as well. Appreciate that. Mama God in the chat. Haven't heard from you for a while. Good to see you. Good to see your name there, Mama God. I'm glad you're feeling better. Also, I see Miss Erica Felt in the chat too. Good morning, everyone.
Hey.
Thank you. Appreciate everybody that's here. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into some stories before we have our special guests. Stay tuned for Precious McKesson and Kimara Snipes that will be on today as well. In the meantime, between time, what's going on, buddy?
Man, well, we're recapping from Monday. Again, all last week we were talking about the SEL hearing that was set to take Capitol, and there's a fight doing, man? Again, educate topic in of course, really going back to the COVID whole pandemic situation and 20 controversy about how schools handle COVID, and it turned into critical race theory was the next hot topic, and now learning and understanding what these things are is very important. As Miss Erica Felt has said in our chat, this is something that she uses with her students, and it's not dealing with race or racism or anything. It's about understanding your emotions, being able to communicate and understand your emotions, on that understanding of how you're being able to articulate yourself and very clear and concise. However, this is somehow being wrapped up into CRT, and it's being wrapped up into by some very, very powerful people. Let's just say what it is. Senator Dave Merman, chair of the Education Committee, this article by Channel 3 saying this shouldn't be promoted by the Nebraska Education. It should not be taught under the names of SEL, CRT, or whatever acronym one might have to teach it. Social is referred to as SEL is described as a process where children and young adults learn interpersonal skills and how to manage emotions, empathy for others. But yet again, State Senator, our children shouldn't learn empathy. He said the Education Committee feels used as a back door to teach controversial academic theories like critical race theory, which is an opinion shared by State Board of Education member Kirk Penner to legitimate. They took a legitimate class and took it as far as they can. This is what happened with social emotional learning. Big education is like an addiction. They must plug their pockets into every aspect of education. He believes there is a between like the National Educators Association and to push concepts like CRL. Other school officials during this hearing say the conspiracy doesn't exist and that cultural war issues like CRT and now SEL harm schools. So, what say you?
I just can't even. This is so ridiculous. It's hard to even like have any kind of like clean debate on it. I don't know, man. This is one of those ones. I gotta leave it to the chat. How y'all feel about this? It sounds so ridiculous to me. The stuff that they say, their side of the argument is always so outrageous and crazy, and without facts. It's like they scared of acronyms or something. I don't know what it is, but sounds ridiculous to me. That woman in the chat says, I do think that once you have been, or once you have had an understanding of emotions and self regulation, that it is easier to understand racism in America. Maybe that's why they don't want it taught, but it's so important. So you can't understand racism without empathy if you're white. Interesting comment. Amy H. Dot says, I'll be covering the OHA meeting tomorrow for the documenters. It would be a great to see anyone else from the public show up. Okay, so there you go. So Omaha Housing, that's Housing Authority, Omaha OHA meeting that you're going to cover tomorrow. So maybe we can get some boots on the roots and roll with Amy to that. Cover that with documenters, have some more people in the room. That would be great. Rome's Review says, hit the like button on your way in or out. Appreciate that very much.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, this is an interesting comment that Miss Erica Feld is talking about here, just about understanding. It's hard to understand. If you're not regulating your emotions, self-regulating or understanding emotions, even, then racism is kind of exposed, is what I'm understanding. You're saying here with your comment, and they don't want that exposure. Although I kind of harken back. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was so about understanding what you're doing is like feeling for others. So yeah, I definitely.
I was just thinking about James Baldwin talking about 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 no, actually it was Toni Morrison. Toni Morrison was talking about how pervasive racism is. It's a mental illness. It's something, There's it's a and when you understand where it's coming from, you understand how crazy it is, and that it just drew me right to that. But I think that you were trying to Miss Erica Felt was actually explaining just the exposure of racism happens when you start having empathy and just feeling for other people, seeing where they come from, looking through their eyes and understanding the attack that's happening to them. Then that's where you're coming from with that. But yeah, it's just interesting to me that how they made this jump from SEL to anything race. I just don't get it.
Yeah, that's always the big. And unfortunately, as like I mentioned this before, as far as like Senate, and we've talked about this, the script, senators sticking to the script, and so they stick to the script so much so to the point where they're just thinking they don't even know what they're being told to say. I actually I heard just as I heard a what was it, the movie with John David Washington, Tenet. Have you seen the film Tenet?
Many
Where
times trying to
it's
figure it
about,
out.
exactly. So you're trying to figure that out. So uh Patton, his last name, in the movie, he says he didn't even understand what was going on in the movie. He just read the script, read the lines, acted, and didn't even know what was going on while he was making the movie. That's pretty much the same situation with these senators. They don't know what's going on. They're getting billed right. They're just trying to push them. Didn't even read the bill. Don't know what CRT is. Really don't know what SEL is. Just know that they somehow know how, but for some reason it's bad and it needs to be stopped. Like this whole boogie ridiculous, and they don't even know why it's the boogeyman. They just know it needs to be stopped.
Craziness. Pops in the chat says, "I'm telling you, they ball up anything with acronyms as being the same thing, and all bad. They are too lazy to research and too ignorant to be reasoned with." Also, Ms. Erica Fell says a senator yesterday at the ESL hearing talked about slavery and actually said he hopes everyone can find something beneficial from their history. This taps into what
What?
Ron DeSantis was is talking about, slavery being a benefit to black people. Really crazy. Miss Eric Feld also says saying it's a mental illness is an excuse. I think they're very sane. They're racist to protect their own selfish interest at any cost, including at the cost of other humans. True that. I do. I'm not trying to make it an out, but there's definitely some mental illness there when it comes to this topic. It's kind of been talked about for years now, ever since brother back in the days of James Baldwin and those guys that really started talking about that early on. But that's part of it. But yeah, it's not an out. It's Sean McCarthy in the chat says it's laziness at its worst, especially since these people are making policy for sure. Hood tables in the chat. Good morning to everyone. Appreciate you.
Hey,
Yeah, man, very interesting stuff. Let's see what our first special guest, Precious McKesson, has to say about it. Ladies and gentlemen, Precious McKesson is with us this morning. Good morning to you. How you doing?
Good morning, y'all. How are you
Long
doing?
all
time no
right.
see. We probably took the feet again. How you been?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Saw you
Good.
chilling with the champ the other day. I saw you got a picture with the champ the other day, huh?
Yes, we did. Yes, yes.
Where were you guys at? Where were you hanging at?
We were at Johnny T's
Okay.
down on 30th.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
Nice, nice.
yep. We came through.
Johnny T's doing
Yeah.
big. Well, how you been? It's been a little minute. How
I've
you
been
been
good.
up to?
Yeah. How was your Omaha
Nothing,
days?
just working, laying low. Mama days was beautiful. It was beautiful. I normally don't take off, and I took off, and I officially go back to work this afternoon.
Okay.
But yeah, well, this evening, I should say, I have a few meetings this afternoon, but official full day will be back tomorrow. But other than that, it was cool. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed how the city came together, especially the community, to celebrate. And it was a really good time. It was a good time. It was a lot to do. Um, if y'all follow me on Facebook, I'll send it over to you. Paul, you can post it. but we're asking for feedback. I am a member of the Native Omaha Club,
Okay.
who actually founded the Native Omaha Days, and so as one of the members, and I'll say as one of the youngest members of the Native Omaha Club, it was just an honor to really be at the forefront and helping plan some of the events that we had. But we also want to have the feedback from the community to see what they want to see in there, because again, there's a lot that we can build on this. And I do see it really much so. I see it so much bigger. I see it to where my vision would love to see it where it's on the level of Cinco de Mayo, when we bring the rides in and have a lot of things, like specifically for family and kids and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
for the kids to have a good time and enjoy it, as well as the families be able to have the festivities and stuff. So yeah, so I'm excited to see where it goes next.
The Hood Table said I responded to the feedback yesterday, so appreciate that. Yeah, definitely
There
give me
you go.
that link so we can let everybody do that. I can tell you one thing that everybody really dug that they were asking for from the last time was more stuff for kids, and y'all
Yes.
did that. Y'all did that. So
Well, I got to give a shout out to the Native Omaha, the planning committee. I know they did their part on, on some activities, and then we partnered with the learning community, well, the early childhood collaborative, right there off of 30th Street. They had some activities after the parade for family and kids and stuff. But yeah, I did see a lot more interaction. Shout out to the drill teams who had competition still, and had families be able to continue the day, inside, and so blessed that the weather was not on Saturday. I mean, I know it was hot during the week, but blessed that the weather was not what it was on Saturday for us to really enjoy it and have a good time and stuff. So it was really cool. And I do have to say, I don't know the young lady who passed away, but I do hope that the community comes together and find out who did that, because she was a mother and she was loved. And I feel that no woman ever, or no one should ever have to lose their life to a senseless, to somebody who's good to gun violence. It's just sad. And so I just hope and pray that people talk, and people call the police and give the right information, so that they can the person who did this can be brought to justice, because she didn't deserve that. And everybody, please, keep her kids and her family in your thoughts and prayers.
yeah, I'm
Yep.
glad you
Big
mentioned that.
facts.
It's
Big facts.
definitely hard to deal with there. We had such a good time and such fun out there with our community. It's really sad that something like that happened around this time as well. So appreciate you bringing that up. And yeah, we definitely gotta rally around the family on that one. So yeah,
Definitely.
but I'm glad that you had a good time. I'm very glad to hear that you're part of this of the committee. Now they needed some
Mm-hmm.
young blood in there for real.
I'm a member of the Native Omaha Club.
The
See, there's
club.
a difference. There's two different entities. The Native Omaha Club is the original founders of the Native Omaha Days um, event.
Okay.
The Native Omaha Planning Committee is a committee that was established about maybe 5 or 6 years ago to assist the Native Omaha Club
Mm.
when it was at a time where it needed to help to be able to continue the legacy of the founders of the Native Omaha Club.
Got it.
So yes, it's two different entities. I just want to make
You,
that very much so
you with the
clear.
Okay.
OGs. You in the club.
I'm with the OGs.
Let it be
I'm with the
understood.
originals. When you have the original founder come into the event and give y'all props, and shout outs. We have to make sure we're always recognizing our founders of the
There
organization.
Let
you
me ask
go.
you a quick question about Native Omaha Club before we get back to the conversation that we were on. What do you so as a member of the club now? Are you privy to the other Native Omaha groups in the other states that have days Native Omaha days
Yeah,
there?
yeah. So we know. Yeah, so those are people who have been a part of it. So I know they have one in California. I know they have one in Vegas.
You know?
I think they have one in Dallas, in Atlanta. But so yeah, so a lot of the people that come to this, we know who they are, which is really good. That people who have moved to those cities continue the legacy, especially for a lot of the people who are from Omaha, in those communities and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely something that I think is something beautiful, and for them to continue to do. I remember as a little girl, I used to march for the Salem Stepping Saints, and we would go to California,
Mm.
and we would link up. When a lot of people from Omaha moved to California, they created a drill team, and it was basically a replica of the Salem Stepping Saints.
That's what's up.
And when we would go to California, I remember we marched in the parade in LA, and we performed, and it was funny to see them come in, and we're like, wait a minute, they look like us. But we realized that they're one of their members, their founders was a member of the Salem Stepping Saints, and she basically recreated it in LA. And so it was beautiful as a young girl to be able to to basically enjoy those, and like they're taking their history there
Yeah.
also. So
Man,
yeah.
I
I
love
will
that.
say,
As one of our missions, real quick, one of our missions here at First Sky
go ahead.
Omaha, we definitely want to engage with the Native Omaha groups around the country. A couple of them that were out in California that are actually chat chimers, they're actually ghost listeners, and they said this is the only place they really get news about North Omaha is here. They can't really hit the World Herald or any other place to really find out what's going on. So they watch the show for that.
Well, also, I mean, I want y'all to make sure, y'all. I mean, Terry Sanders is now the owner of the Omaha Star. Even though it's still a legacy, from the past. But now she's, for $50 for a year, you can get the Omaha Star delivered weekly. You can go onto the Omaha Star's website and definitely, support that, because I know I can see all the information going there, and then keep on chiming in, to First Sky, because let me tell you, it's so good, and there's some. I don't shameless plug. I gotta plug the other ones, but
Yeah.
there is some other people out here like 87.9 The Culture. They're a streaming,
Yeah,
and so
just learning about
and
that radio channel right there. That's
yeah,
what's up.
yes, and so I do spend a lot of time over there. So I love y'all, but I do spend a lot of time over there with the Culture family,
Yeah.
the Culture Club, and just really having, just really being able to talk about the things that are going on in our city, and I really enjoy that. So I'm really shout out to Soul, to Pierre, to y'all, to you, Buddy, all y'all for really taking this to another level, because we have not had Black media for so long in the city. I remember we used to cry about not having a Black radio station in William King, So y'all just keep doing what y'all do, because it's so needed
Yeah.
that we have our own to be able to talk about the issues that are impacting us.
So true. It's all about it's no competition. It's all collaboration, and we can have 5 more radio stations and everything here, and still wouldn't be able to cover everything we need to cover for Black media.
Right,
So yeah,
right.
so I'm glad that it is growing as well, and we'd love to be in the forefront of reaching out to some of the Native Omaha groups in the other states, really to be able to kind of hit us and get the full picture of what's going on with Black media, and so they can keep up with what's going on in their places when they're out of town too. So spread the word, spread the word. We will definitely help with that too. Buddy, I'm sorry I cut you out. We got a little internet lag going on right now with Buddy over there in Atlanta, so just bear with us. But Buddy, what were you gonna say? I think I cut you off.
Yeah, just as far as what Precious was saying, as far as North Omaha, and the we push this whole Omaha as the center of the universe, and really felt like that, and to hear that was like something that started in Omaha, been moved, and now has history in California. It really feels good. And I was Omaha days was me showing my cousin around. She was born in Omaha, but grew up for most of her life. So she really wasn't connected. And for me to during Omaha days, introduce her to Lala and some of the young people around our and me, but around our age that are doing things in the community. It was nice to see her face light up, like, oh, I'm home. Like, oh, this is like we really are family, and you to that. And energy now ever since last week, even here in Atlanta. I ordered some food for the order. I told him my name was Buddy and Bud, and he was like, "Oh, Bud Crawford." Yeah, now y'all see Omaha is on the map. It really feels like that. Just feeling that family, feeling that energy, feeling that pride in Omaha. I feel it all over, and they kind of see it all over the country. So I definitely want to throw that out, man. Have pride for the city.
Hey, I
Exactly.
just want to give a quick shout out. The Hood Table's in the chat too. She's giving us a shout out to First Sky, but
Hey,
give a shout out to the Hood Table too. Live every Friday.
Yes,
Live every Friday.
absolutely.
That's another source that you can go get the real from, and do real talk, real time is what I call it, and that's what they
yeah.
do on the Hood Table on Friday live. So definitely that's another source, man. I just picture it. I'm from California originally. My family's from here, but I grew up in California, so I think about, man, what would I hit out in Omaha to find out what's going on, you know? These are the areas, you know what I'm saying? It's the radio station, First Sky Omaha, the Omaha Star, the Hood Table. You can find out what's going on in your neighborhoods by hitting all these up for sure. So that's what it is. Also, wanted to get into this a little bit. We got a couple of things that we are actually talking about, and actually we want to politic with you again a little bit, Pete, on what's going on with these Trump indictments, because there was some huge things happening with the indictments going on, and what was blowing my mind was this whole thing about the electors, about all these the fake electors and stuff that was that was happening. We can play this Simone Sanders clip, and she was talking about it a little bit, but just kind of want to get your thoughts on that. And before we go too far on that, though, we want to make sure we get your thoughts on what we were talking about a little earlier about the SEL stuff that's happening, and the way that they're trying to group that with critical race theory,
CRT. Hmm.
CRT. Right, right. Do you have any thoughts on that? Were you able to hear a little bit of that before you came on?
So I mean, so when I was down, see, this is the thing. It's funny that you're using SEL because during the when I was working for the okay, first let me say this. You know, I was gotta say my disclaimer. These are the views of Precious McKesson and opinions of Precious McKesson. They do not come from the work that I do for my employer. They do not reflect anybody else. These are my personal views. They got it. So when I worked for the Department of Education, one of the things when we were going around the country talking to families, we were talking about the social emotional learning, the piece of that. The crazy part is now they're now trying to take that part and trying to flip that, because when we were talking about social emotional learning, we're talking about the impacts it had during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
They've now taken the term and tried to cover, you know, the way they're trying to cover it to make it something else that it's not. So I did not look at the hearings because number one, when I heard about the hearings, the first thing I thought about was Florida. And the fact that we have the state we live in, we have people who are elected to office who are doing more harm than good.
Mm.
And their job is to make laws to make sure that we're safe. And they're taking it to a whole nother level to now they're getting involved in the classrooms as well as what happens between me and my doctor. It's not right. It's not right. It's wrong.
Mm.
Um, it's just it to me it's just crossing the line, and then it's showing us a part to me, a part of I'll call them racist. These people are racist, and the crap that they say and it comes out their mouth. Where Merman said yesterday, um, what did he say that? Well, the hearing that people could have benefited from it.
Mm.
People benefited from it. Now, slavery did not benefit black
Mm.
folks. Slavery benefited the white people who had them enslaved. And I need them to understand. And I say this, not saying that you are a part that because the history happened that you are at fault for that, but you need to acknowledge the harm that was caused to community to people of color. And if your family was involved in that, then you have a lot of soul searching to do to kind of rectify or kind of see like where do I do to change that change this, because you can't take the responsibility of your family what they did back then, but you can take responsibility going forward by making sure that it never happens again and by giving the respect and talking about the history so that people understand these things did happen. You can't erase history. And it's crazy how they want to erase the history of the harm that was caused, but they want to continue to keep the history of the things that they've done in the forefront. It's just crazy. So I did I was upset. I still feel that that hearing was I feel was that some laws were broken.
Mm.
Uh, I feel that any hearing that you have in the state of Nebraska has to be open to the public. It can because you have to do a public notice. It's a hearing. It should not be um, to selective people. Kirk Penner said that he was on his own personal capacity. Sir, well, why are you here? And I'm so happy that Senator Conrad called him out on that. It's kind of funny that you're here as a public person, but it wasn't open to nobody else. So you're technically not here in your own personal capacity. You were here because you're on the State Board of Education. And then you turn around and try to say, I'm here in my personal capacity. Well, if that's the case, then you should have opened it up to other people to be here in their personal capacity to the public.
Right.
So it's like, I feel like they're just making exceptions for it. I just don't, I'm just so tired of having to fight, for them to acknowledge the harm that they've caused. Not only them, just everywhere politically. And I'll be honest with y'all, this is not just with Republicans. This is with Democrats, independents. So I don't want y'all to get it twisted. It's all of them, okay? Look,
you also, we talk about this all the time, and you talk about you've been in the fight, and you the fights that you've been in direct fights. And I think about this, like if I was going to use boxing as an analogy because it's on my mind now because of Bud Crawford. We are there's certain ones of us that are in here like the corner that remains throughout every fight, but the person that's out there fighting, they only got 10 rounds. They can't fight constantly. We got to shift fighters out there so y'all can get a break. The corner can stay constant, but the fighter got to switch out after a certain amount of rounds. So I understand now more than I ever did about how tired you are of that fight. I got tired of explaining stuff to white folks one time so bad that I haven't done it since. I don't explain nothing to white folks no more. This is the most explanation that I unless I'm asked, unless they genuinely want to know something, I'm happy to talk. But like trying to make somebody think a different way when they are coming with some that crazy kind of logic, it just goes to show you like how unintelligent and unreasonable some people are, and what is making them that way? Racism, mental illness, whatever it is that's making them this way. How do you surmise? How do you, as a thinking person, come to the conclusion that we benefited from racism? Like
yeah.
it reminds me of like Living Color when Damon Wayans was in jail. They put this this Hotep brother in jail. And what's going on here is in the crux of my infection. What like all this crazy talking to come to these crazy conclusions. Like it's so destructive to be the kind of individual that can't think straight, that can't have a reasonable logical conclusion to a thing, that thinks you're thinking, that thinks you have come up with something clever, that's so off, that's so off. It's crazy. Like how do people even do it?
I mean, it's such a fight. Like the other day, I posted something on Twitter, and I can't because I post so much, and I have never. I had to think about, have I ever been told to go back to Africa? And somebody posted, and he was like, "Well, if you don't like it, you can go back to Africa."
They still saying that. That sounds like something from the 60s and 70s.
Right. And so before I knew it, I was like, but then I said, nope. And I said, I said, let me tell you something. I said, as a Black woman who's also Native American from the Choctaw tribe, you are on stolen land, sir. And so then he went into this whole thing that Indians were enslaving people, and he had the whole, he went through the whole thing. Then he said, you don't embrace your heritage anyways because you say you only a strong Black woman. I said, well, baby, if you want me to put down everything that I am, I wouldn't have no more characters on here. I wouldn't be able to talk about nothing else. And it was just sad to see the ignorance. I mean, it was people like these people were from out of state. And it's just like, it's just so mind boggling because people don't understand. Like, and I'm a firm believer, like, don't approach me in public with the disrespect, because what you'll get back, you will be really shocked, because I'm always going to be in defense mode. Because of the work that I do. I always have to be in defense mode. I always have to look and make sure that some idiot doesn't think that They want to be a martyr today and attack.
Speaking of which,
You know,
I've been seeing you post some things. I always
oh,
coming on the tail end of don't mess with me today. What you want to talk about? What happened? Breaking
look,
news.
people
Breaking
get up
news.
in the morning. People get up in the morning and they make threats.
Mm.
They make allegations. They do things, and I always just want to remind them, baby, I stay with two lawyers ready. Like,
Mm.
we will hit y'all with some paper. I will hit you with some paper so fast. That's the part too that people don't understand. And this work that you do, especially in politics, I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. As a black woman, back in the day, our ancestors and people would do that because they didn't have the means to be able to fight back. But baby, when I fight back, I'm gonna hit you with some
Mm.
papers.
Mm.
I'm gonna hit you with some papers, and I'm gonna make you're gonna have to pay to get out of what you just did to me. I'm gonna make you pay
You
for
ain't
it.
gonna give us no details
No, I can't give details right now because of that
because of
very
the lawyers.
defect.
Right. Right. Got it.
But trust me, you threaten me, I'm coming for everything, and I don't want to be compensated, but I'm gonna make sure you are impacted in the way that you have to figure out how you gonna take care of your family because it's either that or you going to jail. What you want to do?
Lord.
Because I'm not gonna play with my life no more.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna play with
Heard
that.
that.
I'm not gonna play with my family safety. I'm not gonna play with that. And so I'm telling people now, just leave me alone. When it like you can
Yeah.
you're everybody's entitled to have their opinion, but when you start coming for me personally and making threats, we have a
Y'all better
problem.
Man.
leave Precious alone. She got too many people got her back. Don't be messing with Precious in the family.
But I
I
mean,
used
Yeah,
to say it all
you
the time.
see,
We can take it anywhere you want to take it. We can take it to the street. We can take it to the courtroom. We can take it to the elders' room. Wherever you want to go, we can take it.
and I'm a firm
like,
believer. Like I will lose it, and I will fit. I don't care about this. I don't care about these titles.
mm.
When it comes to my safety and to my family safety, we can get it on and popping, baby. Because somebody gonna lose,
Mm.
and it ain't gonna be me.
What are you gonna say, buddy?
Just putting it in perspective. Like it gets that real. Like what we're dealing with, what we talk about on here. We try to figure out a way to get things done civilly, to get things done peacefully. Talk about laws, but let's look at our history. What we've been through. Quote unquote black people who in positions of power, and what has happened history, things have been burnt, people have been killed. Like this is real. This is a real situation that we're in. And thank you for reminding us of that. And when we talk about SCL and CRT and the things that are happening in our state's capital, that's just the tip of the full iceberg that is this war that we have been fighting. Trust me, this is a war that we are fighting. Wars are fought on
Yeah,
many different fronts:
yeah.
education, economics, all of it. It's a part of a larger war, and we got to understand what that is.
Speaking of
And we
warriors and
saw it.
leaders in that war, we're gonna bring on our special guest, our other special guest today. Miss Kimara Snipes is in the house. Good morning to you, sis. How you doing?
Good morning. How y'all doing?
For the
All
day.
right.
Hey,
Thanks for joining us. This we weren't really doing Women's Wednesday anymore with y'all, but look y'all on here now on Wednesday. So
Hey.
we appreciate you guys taking the time to come. We miss y'all. And we definitely got some things that we want to talk about when it comes to these neighborhoods. This is the main reason that we're bringing you on. But love to get your opinion on some of these things. We didn't really get to the story quite yet on Trump and his indictment and all that good stuff. But I did see something from Simone Sanders that had me kind of chime up a little bit and kind of wanted to get you guys' reaction to that as well. Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick. Here's Simone Sanders talking.
Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona, Wisconsin, Nevada, and New Mexico. That is 7 states that had fake electors. So this just didn't occur by happenstance. These phony slate of electors were just step 1 of Trump and his allies' overall plot to destroy American democracy.
Okay, that's enough there. We kind of already know what she's talking about there. First of all, shout out to Simone Sanders, daughter
Hey.
of Terry Sanders, Omaha connection, Omaha native, doing big things. Like I said, Omaha's the center of the universe right now for us, so that's what's up. So
Mm-hmm.
she's speaking on it, and so yeah, there's we don't normally talk about Trump and his indictments and stuff going on here on this show, but because of the fact that he was engaged with these fake electors, and you are our elector, Miss Precious, history making P. I wanted to kind of get you guys' thoughts on this.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say this. Again, these are Precious McKesson's opinions. They reflect from Precious McKesson. So
Disclaimer.
right. So before I went to cast the electoral vote, um, I was instructed we had to have I had to have security. Even though I'm just one person, y'all. I'm just one person. One person. But I still had to have security. Not only that, I had to go to Lincoln at a different time. I couldn't say when I was going, where I was staying. I was honestly scared. And if you look, and I tell the story because people didn't understand like why. Like if you notice in any pictures when I was outside doing the media, my family was never outside with me. My family was always inside the building. And the reason I kept my family inside the building because I just felt I didn't what idiot because number one, it's not about me as a one person vote. It's not about, oh, we want to take that one vote because it's elector signing it. It was more of who wants to be the story and say, oh, I did this for Trump. People have their own motives, and so
Right.
I feel like it could be easier to do something stupid to one elector than to 45 electors. Who wants to, and it'd be the topic of them, and they say, oh, I did this for them. And even though it's not like it's going to change anything, but it's just because they just want to be able to be a part of that movement. So with us, since we split our electoral votes, it's different. It's, all the other states, there's all in one lump sum. So the fact that they had a fake electors, it's crazy. But we know they was going to try to do that, as well as they wanted the legislatures to be able to take control and be able to what if they say they want them to be able to basically take away the law or rechange the law so that they can then elect the electors on their own rather than go with the original what's in the law. And so, I mean, it's really sad, but the fact that this man, again, this is my opinions because I'm not representing my party or my job, but the fact that this man is raising money off of this literally is so mind-boggling because he is like, I just don't understand it. And it would be a shame to see that all the crime that he's committed, that he is not convicted and jailed, honestly.
And you talking about Trump, and he's the lead in the Republican candidate.
He's like at 54% in and I think DeSantis was maybe like 10%. And when I was looking at them, and like Nikki Haley was like 3%, like and all the other ones like kind of sprinkled in. But yeah, he was like at 54% still, like over all the other the like 50. Well, how many candidates they got? Like 55 candidates. I'm like, they got like maybe 12 or 13 candidates. So.
Two questions real quick. Not one comment, one question. So I remember you telling us before about when you came to explain what the elector does, I remember walking away from what you had to say, that if the elector wanted to, they can change the vote when they got out there.
Yeah.
And just vote against anything that the people said.
Yep.
So that's number one. They got that power. That's the comment. The question is, how does one become a fake elector? How did that even come about?
So I don't know, because I know what we do. We have to submit our information to the Secretary of State. So once your elector is finalized, that information goes to the Secretary of State, and then that's how they communicate. So I don't know how other states do it. I know how Nebraska do it, but it had somehow they had it. Look, it's more people involved in this if they was able to get these fake electors. Let's just put it that way. So wherever they submit their information to, they're a co-conspirator.
All the way up to the president.
They're a co-conspirator.
We can talk about this all day long. It's 8:04 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, y'all hearing that noise in the background, that's the thunder that's happening right here in Omaha, Nebraska. We're getting that thunderstorm. I appreciate everybody that's in the chat. Just want to jump into the chat just real quick. Marion Williams said something earlier that had me thinking I'd better pay close attention to this name. She said that who she said was dangerous. That woman Merman is dangerous. She's referring to that hearing that just happened. Also, later on in the chat, Miss Erica Felt is talking. She says, "My thing is that he's never cuffed, much less incarcerated, and he's never cuffed, much less incarcerated. He's still running for president, so I don't see the point. It speaks on this country and the complexion for protection. It starts with acknowledgement. You can't do better when you refuse to acknowledge what is wrong. Also, having a only invited testimony feels like it was to prove their opinion and not to represent the public. I think restriction to invited testimony should be against the rules. Precious mentioned that she thinks it's against the law for them to have a hearing without any public. Also, Marianne Williams says, I get told to speak English fairly regularly now. I only speak English and I don't have an accent, so I'm not sure what they're hearing. That one, Miss Erica Fell says, you keep using those foreign big words that mean real things. Also, you probably are using acronyms too. You see, they don't do well with acronyms. Mayor Sanchez says, in my opinion, every presidential election in America has been stolen. Why don't people talk about all the other presidential elections? Interesting viewpoint. Appreciate your comments. One thing we did not do when we brought Miss Kimara in is ask her how she doing. How are you doing, Miss Kimara Snipes? You looking good? You see you at the headquarters. What's going on with you? Let me unmute you real quick. That was my bad.
Oh.
There you go. How you doing?
Oh. I could have been over here saying whatever I wanted to. No.
Hot mic. What's going on with you, sis?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm sitting up here. I got here right in time because as soon as I came in, it just started pouring rain. I said, thank God, because I don't plan on going back home anytime soon today. So I'm out here for today, but feeling pretty good. I had a really good weekend. I've always enjoyed Omaha days. So I'm a social person. So anytime I get a chance to be around a lot of people, I really, really enjoy that. And I love being on the Deuce, and very sad about what happened this weekend. I had actually just left that area about probably an hour before. It's really just sad to have just all this greatness overshadowed by that. And so I'll be very interested to hear the conversation at Omaha 360 today about that as well. I imagine maybe Chief Schmaderer might be there. Typically when something happens big, he attends. So.
Or when he feels, never mind. Also, I was gonna say, when you get there, maybe you can speak to Ricky Smith for us and ask him to come on the show.
You probably don't want me to do that, but maybe I'll slide over a little. I could say something. Hey, holler at Paul. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that for you.
All right.
I'll take one for the team.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. One of these days, my schedule will allow me to get to these 360 meetings, and then we in real trouble because I got a whole lot to say.
They're good meetings all year. I have my notebook while I'm there, so.
Kim is hilarious. I'll take one for the team.
Y'all don't get along? Is that what's going on?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I don't think we talk a whole lot. I just think we have different styles when it comes to leadership, and I think we have different styles when it comes to just engagement with people. And so that's just what it is. And sometimes different styles just don't mesh that well, and that's cool. I'm cool with that. He is still someone I work with and would work with to get what ever needs to be done. I have been attending 360 since 2015. What I'm saying? That's something I don't plan on stopping doing. And so I'm also not gonna hide how I operate or how I roll either. We serve in the school board together, and you said yourself that getting responses has been difficult, and it's been the same. And I've had people who reached out to me, and when you're on school boards, you already got enough people getting at you as it is, without everybody in other districts also having to come to you because people won't respond to them. And that's not cool. But I'm going to respond to everybody. So that's just how I operate. But it is added to your plate when someone else isn't able to respond when they should.
Appreciate you taking one for the team on that one. We'll definitely look forward to seeing what that conversation looked like. I just want to let everybody know there is a severe thunderstorm going on out here. If my electricity goes off, Buddy, you'll have to take over because I'm quite sure that we might be in a little bit of trouble here.
Okay.
Just warning people. Just warning people beforehand. Let's go ahead and shift gears real quick too. So this is the reason why we want to engage. This is how we want to engage with you guys this season. Let me lay it out for y'all real quick. So neighborhood associations, neighborhood alliances. We've been talking to y'all about this for a while. You guys are both leaders in when it comes to the neighborhoods, and we are now convinced that all action is going to start there. This is season 6. The theme of this season is boots to the roots. You guys have done a great job of convincing us that it all starts in the neighborhoods. We consider ourselves a a virtual neighborhood association without geo boundaries. And as long as well, I guess we got one geo boundary. Really, we talking to folks in Omaha at large. But for the most part, no geo boundaries. But we are doing the thing that we think neighborhood associations ought to be doing, which is meeting regularly, having discussions, and figuring out how to get to some action. So what we've done is put out to the chat chimers and ghost listeners a challenge this season for them to join their neighborhood associations. We want everybody to be in one. If you don't have one in your area, create one. Because we came across that last time we were talking. A couple people in the chat said we don't have a neighborhood association. We can start one, and we have two leaders right here with us that can tell us how to start one, that can help us get things going, that can align us with the other ones, and all that. So let's take advantage of that. That's what we want to really talk about with you guys this season. We want to really concentrate on building out the neighborhoods so that that's boots on the roots to us. That's boots on the roots. You start there, you get to some action items. And I would love to see some money go to these neighborhood associations and alliances. I would love to see more representation in legislature that's coming from that. I almost kind of want to be like, each neighborhood could be like a little lobby group, really, in certain ways. So Amy H. says she needs to start one. So here we go. That's a chat chimer saying that there's not one in her neighborhood. She's got to start one. So that's the premise of what's going on this season. The reason why we want to have you guys on and love to spend a little bit of time on that. So maybe we can get a little bit of a brief statement from each one of you guys on this idea, what's going on in your neighborhoods, and also how do you think the best way for us to go about building more memberships in neighborhood associations, building neighborhood associations? Are there any resources out there for us to build them if we don't have them in our neighborhoods? And talk a little bit about the incentive to jump in one. Why would we do this? Why would our chat chimers and ghost listeners pick up this challenge? Kimberly, you'd like to go first?
I'd love to. And by the way, I just can't tell you how much I appreciate y'all making this a platform to do that. This has been near and dear to my heart for 20 years since I joined Highland South Indian Hill because of Grandma Harris. You know what I'm saying? And so, and speaking of virtual neighborhood associations, without a doubt. And Buddy, you read something I had posted on LinkedIn last week, and I appreciate you reading that. And I pulled it back up because what I had done was I had been researching systemic change in neighborhoods. And through that research, I found a document that I was reading, and it talked about the 4 precursors to systemic change. And so those are increasing knowledge, strengthening relationships, improving individual and organizational capacity. And for me, organizational would be neighborhood associations in my mind, and then providing meaningful community ownership. And that is definitely a space for One Omaha. And we talk about those virtual neighborhoods, right? You're able to increase people's knowledge by bringing them information. We do build relationships with each other. I mean, the chat chimers prove that. And then through that, we can create that sense of community ownership, which is extremely necessary. You were talking about Simone Sanders, and I know we moved on. The conversation is about democracy, and she's right on point. And through all of this as well, what has also happened is that, trust in the system has been completely broken down. And so when we talk about just development starting in neighborhoods, also trust starts in neighborhoods too. And so when we talk about what people can get out of it, that's building relationships with each other. And it may sound like something small, but Buddy, you say it all the time, conversation rules the nation. When we build relationships with one another intentionally, you know what I'm saying, we can change a lot of things, including systems. So to me, that is the benefit. Are there resources available? Absolutely. Precious is a resource. I am a resource. The city of Omaha has a neighborhood planner who is Mariana Farrell. She is a resource. I will say that, you know, Omaha is not set up like a lot of other cities, and we can't blame Gene Stopper because it's been like this for forever. And that there's been a lot of actual on focus within like the budget on like actual neighborhood engagement. You can go to Minneapolis and these other places and see that. And so because of that, we have strong alliances and one Omaha who can step in to fill that gap. And so we have all these different resources. Mariana, she used to be a SONA member. She's amazing and she's a great resource. And so plenty of resources available. I make myself available to you. I mean, it is kind of my job, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I love it. And I'll tell you all about it later, a little bit later, but you talk about boots to the roots. We're going to be having a speaker series called From the Ground Up, because, this is where this work starts. And so we're just putting that together. But I'm very, very, very excited. I don't have all answers today, but I think sitting down and having conversation to continue talking about this would be wonderful. I'm putting together our advisory council, Precious, myself, Juanita, all the alliance leaders, Mariana from the planning department. We're going to be an advisory council for One Omaha. And I'm also thinking through who else should be a part of this group. What should the actual agenda be and things like that, so we can even talk about that more too. Because I think being able to get the information out to the community about what we're doing is important.
Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, good introduction to what we're doing here. We'll definitely jump into more of the resource part side of it. Like I said, as soon as you joined One Omaha, I was like, there's a synergy here between One Omaha and First Sky, for real. So we'll figure out how to do that. And if it can support neighborhoods, then great. Precious, would you like to give us a few words on your thoughts on?
I'm excited for, not only, do I represent North Omaha Neighborhood Alliance, but I also am the president of NUSA, which is Neighborhoods USA. And so we support neighborhoods and across the nation, Bahamas and Japan. And I've always said that without neighborhoods, you don't have a city. Neighborhoods are such a big impact on what happens. And I think by everybody coming and joining forces together as neighborhoods, we can see a lot of change when it comes to local politics. Local politics are the forefront. They do matter, as everybody is seeing. They are being attacked. Not saying that the federal government or what happens in DC doesn't matter, but a lot of people don't understand the dynamics of what happens in DC. They understand what happens right in their backyard. And so when we start to join neighborhoods together and get people out to really, change the direction of what's going on in politics, get people of representation, we start to see stronger neighborhoods, more money come into those neighborhoods to making sure that they can be sustainable and stuff. So I'm just excited for it all. We did decide that next, let me see, September, let me get the date. Hold on, because I know I keep destroying it. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm getting old. Y'all be forgetting what day it is and stuff. So let me see.
Look, I don't even try to remember nothing no more. I write everything down now.
Yes, so September 28th. This is the first public announcement I'm making about this, other than when I made it last week. But Nona will go back to holding our in-person meetings, and we will be holding our meetings at the Malcolm X Foundation.
Ooh.
And it'll be at 6 o'clock, 6 to 7:30. And we will host our neighborhood meetings there. And everyone's invited. Definitely want to build back the alliances in supporting the neighborhood associations, and with Kimara being at the helm of One Omaha, with that basically Nona sits under the umbrella of One Omaha. We're just excited to really, get back into the swing of things and really bring the support, and being that support for Nona, as well as the other organizations. And there's some good organizations that are doing work in North Omaha, like I think Change Omaha, the global is Global Connection, what they're doing with their neighborhood cleanups. You have good people doing great things. And so it's not a competition for us. We've all been doing the work. There's enough work out here for all of us to be able to really make impact in our neighborhoods. And so I encourage everybody to be a part of their neighborhood association. And like you said, if you don't have one, create one. I know One Omaha has, Kimara, correct me if I'm wrong, I at one time had a link on their page where you could go to learn how to create one, so you don't have to go through the millions of pages on the city website. They had like one link that you could go to, and it'll help you be able to create a neighborhood association. But we definitely have to take the power back of the neighborhoods and be able to be that voice.
There you have it from the two leaders that we are associated with here that are Chad Chimers and friends and family of First Sky Omaha. We're very lucky to have you guys as the leaders here on this, because like I said, you've convinced us that it's very, very important to be a part of this, and this is where the power and the power comes from the numbers. We always are outpowered but never outnumbered. So if we can get that organization together with these numbers, the best way to do that, your neighbor next door, who you live on the block with. If you can talk to them, then that's great. If we can help as a media company here in facilitating conversations with those neighborhoods that extend past the in-person meetings once a month, that's kind of what we're feeling like might be a thing to look into.
Yeah.
And I think also something else that we have to do is I've set up meetings with all of our city council people. I've been meeting with our county commissioners, because something else is, and I've been asking them the question, like, when you hear neighborhood association, like, what do you think? Because I think we also have to get away from this cutesy sort of, oh yeah, it's a bunch of people that get together and do a community garden
They bake cookies and have
stuff
to
like
talk about
that,
the dogs.
right? Right, and so I've been really trying my hardest to really elevate and going back to Buddy's talk about conversation, right? At the Malcolm X Center that day, they had a whole panel about thriving neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I had to bring that up. I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Y'all talking about thriving neighborhoods. Let's talk about neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? And just that collaboration right there, now boom. You know what I'm saying? Malcolm X has opened up their doors for neighborhood groups to meet. And so it's conversation, but it's also collaboration as well, right? Like Precious said, there's enough for everybody to go around. Imagine all these really great groups coming together and working together in collaboration to really, really support neighborhoods. We get the schools involved and everybody else too. It'd be a beautiful thing. So.
Buddy, I see your wheels turning down there. I'll put it out there to the chat. We would love to hear what you have to say about some of the things that the ladies have said to us on this. What are your thoughts in the chat? And also, Buddy, what are you thinking about?
Oh, I mean, we all on the same page. It's you look at your neighborhood, it is a microcosm of the city. You have resources, as Kimara said. We're in this digital space. So it's kind of hard to think about ourselves in that way, as far as regional locality and how that impacts movement of neighborhoods as a microcosm. You have your library, you have all of these resources and all of these people. Kimara said, once these areas start to come together, then you have a stronger city. I don't see how one can expect to have a or even efficient city if neighborhoods aren't communicating, if neighborhoods aren't organized, if neighborhoods aren't moving as neighborhoods. And yes, it's more than just bake sales and everything y'all said. Like my introduction to learning that my mom was a part of our neighborhood association, and learning that our neighbor was the president of the neighborhood association, and seeing that relationship and seeing certain things being put on our yard so our yard doesn't get flooded when it rains. Like, those things actually matter, and those things have an impact. So it's when you think about it, you actually put thought to it. It's kind of a no-brainer, but you gotta open the conversation.
Yeah.
And I also just want to mention too, you don't have to be a property owner or a homeowner to be in a neighborhood association.
Right.
You can be living in an apartment, living in a rental. It's still your neighborhood. Go ahead.
Yes, let me tell you something. That's something I've always said. And renters matter. Renters are a part of the neighborhoods also. When you get more people involved in the neighborhoods, people normally become homeowners. But we want to make sure that we're building them to be good neighbors also, because this is where they choose to raise their families. This is where they choose to live if they don't have children. So you want to make sure that we are getting them to making sure that they are always being accepted in those meetings also.
I love it. In the chat, Malik Rogers is saying Black
Hey.
Omaha should not forget to make meetings more accessible to those who may be elderly, disabled, or not able to meet in person. We need to utilize technology to mobilize.
Now, can I comment on that real quick?
Sure,
Mhm.
sure.
Well, let me just say this. Before COVID, we always met. We didn't have Zoom. So we haven't forgotten. This is something new for us in the last 2 years. 2 or 3 years for COVID. I have more elderly people a part of Nona than I do young people. And when I say, I'm talking about 80 and 90, and they come to the meetings, you know. We always are accessible, but I do agree we need to be more accessible. But I just want to make sure that we understand, like, don't say we've never, because Zoom just came about for communities in the last 2 years, when COVID hit. Before then, our neighbors came out. Our elderly and they came out. They were very active, but I do see that. But we have to also understand is that when we're talking about North Omaha, everybody doesn't have internet connection to be able to have Zoom. That's the one thing that's the one issue that we have, is broadband is really bad in our community. Like now, all of us are scared our internet's going to go out due to the storm. So we do have to make sure that we are being accessible, to making sure we're being inviting to everybody. But with that, guys, I'm going to have to get off because today is Dr. Danita Webb's services, celebration of life. And I need to get ready to be there with my daughter. And so she'll be there for her best friend. Danita was a dear friend of mine. And Richard's a dear friend. And so I just want to be able to make sure I have enough time to get ready. So if you could keep the community in prayer today in your thoughts, because it's going to be a long day. If you don't know who Dr. Danita Webb is, you go on Facebook. She was an educator. She loved the kids. And she lost her battle with cancer. And we're going to deeply miss her. And so today we're going to paint it pink in the city. Everybody's encouraged to wear pink. Kimara has her pink on. Everybody's going to, and we're going to celebrate her life and her legacy, and be there for her children and her husband and her family, and her sisters. And so I'm going to jump off. And again, I appreciate y'all coming, letting me come on. And I miss y'all. So let me know. Extend an invite again. I'll come.
Absolutely.
But I will see y'all later. Okay.
Please extend some love and respect to your family there, and condolences for us.
Thank y'all.
Good to see you. Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
All right, there you go, Precious McKesson represent. We got another few minutes. Just want to kind of wrap up what we're talking about here, and then we'll let Kimber get on her way too. But really, really appreciate everything you guys were saying. I just want to kind of jump into a little bit of I do this kind of thought experiment where I want to go as far as I can when it comes to what I'm thinking a neighborhood association is. Now, I've never been a part of one. Never been a part of a neighborhood association. Miss Erica Felt, I think in the chat said, I feel who just said that? Oh, Amy H. Dot says a neighborhood association is different than a homeowners association. For a long time, I thought it was one and the same. So yeah, it's really important to put that part out there. It's not a homeowners association, which is different. It's not a BID or anything like that. It's not an improvement district. A neighborhood association is something else, and whoever lives in the neighborhood in whatever capacity can do that. So when I'm thinking of neighborhood associations, 2.0, I'm thinking about neighborhood associations that gets together in person once a month, and does make it an event that is not just a discussion, but a little bit of a gathering, a little bit of a kickback, maybe some food and so on, but also has regular conversations once a week, whether it be online or wherever else, to keep conversations going, to keep plans going. I'm not sure about how the structure works for neighborhood associations, but I imagine that there's a event coordinator there, maybe that's helping to do some things. There's a secretary there that is helping to disseminate some information and so on and so forth. And then ultimately they were groups that can grow and involve everybody in the neighborhood, take their own independent votes on things, and then decide on what actions to take, and then as a group go lobby and go do things that can affect their neighborhood. So that's my kind of dream scenario for what it is that I imagine, since I've never been a part of one, what I imagine they are, what I imagine they could be. Am I off base, Kimber?
It's so crazy. I'm one of those people who likes to look up definitions. Before I went to Texas, I went and looked specifically how Omaha defined them. you know, and so they define them as places where they foster positive relationships with neighbors so they can help soothe conflict or solve neighborhood challenges, which I agree with. And I think that the lobbying and those types of things are things that happen organically. The leadership development happens organically. The development of political candidates happens organically. I go back to soda, like back to Crystal Rose. All of our secretaries have been like elected to office. So those types of things are like the outcomes or the benefits maybe, or the results that happen just organically through people coming together to soothe conflict and solve challenges or win issues, as we say in direct action organizing.
Okay, so there we go. So that's starting from foot number one down on the ground. You talking? It's really just for the neighbors to be able to get together, know each other, and if there's any conflicts with people with the actual neighborhood, the actual neighbors in the neighborhood, they can meet to resolve that, and that's the
Right.
first step of building that neighborhood association relationship.
Right. It's amazing what happens when you get out and just like walk around your neighborhood and the things that you see that need fixing, right? And if
Right.
you're talking to your neighbors about that, you start to see you probably have consensus with people and things that you agree with. You know, you may not agree on everything, but maybe you agree on that one thing. And that's the thing about it too. Like everybody in a neighborhood association, it's not necessary that you even like each other, right? It's about coming together to be able to, again, like the city says, soothe conflict. And maybe the conflict ain't even with neighbors. Maybe it's conflict with, I don't know, a city department or a county department or something like that. And then again, I say win issues. So yeah, I think you're right on point with that. And I think that there are enough issues affecting our neighborhoods to organize around,
Yeah.
especially in East Omaha.
That kind of reminds me of growing up. I remember seeing like the neighborhood watch signs around in my neighborhood, and as a kid, that like I would feel like somebody was watching me. And so I would as a child in the neighborhood, and to my understanding, that was a neighborhood that will put those up and kind of manage that and be watching. Members of the neighborhood will be the ones watching, and if something happens, that just kind of reminds
That was actually
They have actual neighborhood watch groups. They have actual neighborhood
yeah.
watch
That
groups.
was my question. Yeah. If
Not
that
as much as they used to, but they still do. They also have the Omaha's Coalition of Citizens Patrol that exists, OCCP. And a lot of these you can find out about through your precinct advisory councils. Each police precinct has a precinct advisory council that's really made up of neighborhood members. You come and they have a whole report and they go through every single incident that's happening in your neighborhoods. And you can also let them know about things that are happening in your neighborhood. You can take that information back, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't talk about everything on the news.
No,
Right.
they don't.
That was my next question. Really, was the neighborhood associations, what they do for safety situation, and were they associated with the neighborhood watch? But you're saying neighborhood watch is a different organization.
It is, and your police precincts also have, and I can't remember the exact title. Southeast is Ophelia Robles, but they're like a community sort of liaison type of person that should be able to come to your meetings. They're probably like Ophelia. She sets up all the Christmas activities and the safe event and all these different things. She was doing the community garden at the police precinct and stuff like that.
Brother Rogers in the chat is asking, with many of these groups ran by individuals belonging to multitude of other boards and efforts, do you feel that this could limit the engagement and openness of neighborhood residents?
When he says many of these groups, is he talking about alliances or like neighborhood associations?
Individuals
Typically,
that make up these neighborhood associations that also belong to these other on other boards and things like that. I think he's kind of asking, do you think that would taint
I think that majority of them don't belong to a bunch of boards and things like
neighborhoods? Yeah.
that. I mean, you see Precious and I and Juanita Johnson, but that doesn't make up the whole, especially when neighborhoods were extremely active before COVID. Majority of them were not the people that you saw on boards and things like that. I think the thing that's limiting the engagement right now is that COVID came along and just shut everything down. Sona was lucky enough to take advantage of technology at the time to the extent that we did, and we were able to have viewership of like 5,000 people, right? We also leveraged the relationships that I had at that time too. But
Wow.
I think that's one thing, is just trying to rebuild that sort of infrastructure of the neighborhood groups. That's really what's limiting the engagement, in my opinion. That's the reason why I've been having a conversation with Precious to really take advantage of the relationship we have with the Nebraska Civic Engagement Table to get some funding to really focus on some specific neighborhoods, and I don't even know which ones yet, completely open to ideas. We haven't even gotten all off into the planning yet, but visionary, between Sona and Nona, maybe Midtown, I'd like to focus on some specific neighborhoods, not too big, because, we have to be smart about this, to really focus on as a pilot and just really plan out for like the next year or even two, right, to see how this really works with really engaging a neighborhood. And then you just copycat that
Mm.
throughout, of course, having to augment it for that specific neighborhood. But we have to get these neighborhoods re-engaged and organized, and that's the only way to take care of anything else, and I don't care what it is.
Last thought on this. What how can we get people excited about joining their neighborhood association or creating one, other than just the civic engagement here that we are engaged in? But what's the sexy pieces of trying to get people involved?
That's not a question for me to answer by myself. Let's sit down and talk about this.
Okay.
Let's sit down and have this conversation. I mean, for me to answer that question off the top of my head, you asking me, so I think everything's wonderful about it. So it's all sexy to camera,
Right.
you know what I'm
Right.
saying? But
Well, let's
what appeals to me is not going to appeal to everybody
well,
else, because
well,
I see the picture.
let's put it out to the chat. Let us know what. Be honest about. Think about it for yourself. What would make you get to a neighborhood association meeting? What would make you join?
For me,
What's
I think the biggest
um?
thing. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying I was putting that out to the chat, but go ahead.
I think that again, understanding why these groups even existed to begin with which was usually to address an issue, right?
Mhm.
So I think if we're talking about seizing opportunity, we have to find out what issues are existing in these neighborhoods, which means probably really going door to door, which is what I'm talking about with Precious. Really, really being able to find people, go door to door and talk to people, maybe ask 3 questions, right? And just pull information from that and then go from that.
Yeah.
I think, having a series of events that invites out friends and family from neighborhoods, small ones, right? Get to know each other, but you have to do it more than once.
Right. Gotta be
This is
regular.
building relationships, so it's going to take time. But we do this and continue to do this. It's a start. I think linking up with the elementary schools, I think that's a no-brainer, right? I think that taking advantage of the assets that exist in these neighborhoods, and when I say assets, I mean the people, the relationships, the physical spaces, the institutions, the associations, the businesses that exist. I saw a community, I was talking to, I think Councilman Rowe, maybe I read it, but somewhere it was a community where the businesses in that community created like scholarships for the kids who lived in that specific community, right? Couldn't they do that for neighborhoods? You know what I'm saying? But it's all kinds of ideas. Just got to come together and talk about them.
Yeah, and then that's what this was. Go ahead, Ben.
I just to Kimara's really put much thought to it, but that's like developments. Like I live in a development called Emerald Springs, and there's actual signs of people in the community that have graduated from high school that have received scholarships, and their name is there. Like they're giving them a shout out, congratulations such and such on graduating, congratulations such and such on your scholarship. And I've seen that in many areas throughout Atlanta as far as elements having that. So yeah, that's that. That just reminded me of that.
To me, that feeds into community ownership, right? As we talk about precursors to systemic change. But anyway.
I love it. I love it. We're gonna give it up today. I was planning on talking to you about 2 more minutes, and then letting you get going about your day, so we can get on to some other stuff as well. But really appreciate that. This is exactly what we wanted as far as coming in, giving us some information on what we need to do to really kind of get this situation going with the neighborhood associations and such. And just appreciate all your expertise on this and everything that you know. And I'm glad this is your passion because you can relay that to people. Miss Erica Felt says, knowing that a sense of community results in a safer and less littered block. I like that. Also, some of our neighborhoods really have minimal resources because they're suburban style and no stores or anything. So we can think of a lot of things that we can. Malik Rogers says, new faces of leadership is the key. This type of change helps people embrace need for change. I like it. I'm sitting here thinking about my neighborhood right now. I know Benson area has a neighborhood association here, but if we didn't, and I wanted to start something, then I'm thinking about these issues. So for one of the issues here on Benny Street, these Kia boys then jumped out and jacked 2 or 3 cars off this one street. And I know, I know that the neighbors over at Benson Lights, I know the neighbors around the neighborhood are really tired of no patrolling, no security, no police, nothing happening, and cars just getting jacked each week, all the time. They're sitting out on this public street. So that might be something I say, hey, this is an issue. Let me gather up some other neighbors and start an association so we can talk about what we can do. Where will we go from there?
The captain of the Northwest Precinct will be at Omaha 360 today. I'm just saying.
So maybe a representative of the neighborhood association here could go talk to them.
Oh, holler at them. You know what I'm saying? For real.
That's
good examples. Go ahead.
That's kind of along the lines of what I was thinking. As far I know you put the question out to the chat, but as you know, what somebody join a neighborhood association, I would say it's the sense of up. Like you're getting some information. You know, whether it's diapers or how to stop your kid from getting stolen. Like that's the type of stuff that if I feel like just like I go somewhere and I'm getting the hookup, like I'm all like, man, well, thank you. I'm gonna come back.
Yeah. Who making peach cobbler on the block? We ain't got no stores and no restaurants. Right. Who got their oven going on the block? We want to know. Appreciate that. But Miss Erica Phil says that's why my son hates that we live in a house. When we lived in apartments, townhouses, there were stores, parks, schools, and walking distance. We have to drive to everything, and we're off 72nd. So can you use the neighborhood association to change things like that, to put parks in place and to encourage business and so on and so forth? Is that something that the neighborhood associations could tackle?
Say that again. I'm sorry. I got a text message. I'm so sorry.
Look, you ain't even.
Look, when my son called,
I look. No attention. I'm just playing. Miss Erica Fell was saying that when she was living in apartments and stuff, everything was walking distance. They had stores, parks, and now she lives in a situation in a house where she doesn't have that. Can a neighborhood association rally to put a park in the area or rally for business in the area?
Yes, as we talk. So this is where, in my opinion, direct action organizing comes in.
Hey.
What she's talking about is an issue, and direct action organizing is what you do to win issues. So absolutely. And neighborhood associations, to me, are just really groups that create collective impact, which is a major part of the organizing.
I'm excited.
Right.
I'm very excited about this.
See a situation.
Check out direct action organizing.
Man, yeah, definitely see it, in the neighborhood come together, issue that they, might not issue, and then you go to an alliance where other neighborhood associations might have that same issue. Then you have a little more power to go to a state, to go to a county official and things like that.
That's how SONA was created. A bunch of association leaders coming together because something was happening. And they came together collectively to fight it. And that's how SONA was created in 1969.
Wow.
Man. I mean, it's
there it is.
Just today.
Just like you feel like something is happening to you and only you, then it's like, oh, but once you see like, oh, this is happening to everybody. This is, to me, this is actually something that's going on. Then you kind of feel like, oh, this can be addressed.
The younger generations are thinking systems first. I see. Younger generations are like, oh, they start with it's happening to everybody because it's a system. They getting that knowledge and they starting from there first. The older generations, I think, probably start from this is happening to me and got to kind of realize it's happening to other people. But I'm excited about how the young folks are coming at this thing with this knowledge that we all been helping them understand. This is all system based, and we need to, not just feed the fish, but clean the pond.
Right.
So yeah. So anyway, we're in it, and we're gonna let you get going. But thank you so much. I'm super excited about all this information. This is real impactful. Miss Erica Fell says Amy H and Kimara, I'm jumping in our group chat. Okay, cool. You guys got some stuff going on. Good. Appreciate that very much. I appreciate all your comments. Let us know. Keep on sending us over, chat chimers and ghost listeners, ideas about what it is that you think will make getting people to join their neighborhood association sexy. All the things that make it good and fun and worth doing and important. And I'm talking about real things. We need to get up off the couch and go join the neighborhood associations or start one. And what would make you actually take that time out of your month to go do that? Let us know. Not saying we're putting the challenge out to do it. If you don't do it, then everybody's circumstances is what it is. But we would love to know at least know what would it take for you to do it, so we can apply that to other folks too. So thank you so much. Like I said, it's really excited about this right now and all this information that you're giving us. And when we talk about season 6 boots to the roots, this is where it starts.
Love it.
8:45 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're going to let Miss Kimara go and hit the rest of your day. Let us know. I know you're going to take notes for that 360 meeting, so let us know next time. We'll have you on again so you can talk about it.
Hey.
Yeah. Any final words for us?
If you are interested in starting a neighborhood association, please holler at me. You can hit me on Messenger. However you get in touch with me. Paul know how to get in touch with me, and so does Buddy. But I'm just excited about that. Hopefully everyone's taking care of themselves. I've been drinking my water like Miss Erica said, and yeah.
Love it.
Oh, and I'm Buddy. I heard about that fish at your dad's house. I met a person who said she would fight somebody over that fish. Damn, I missed out.
I try to tell y'all, I try to tell y'all come through. Pops get down. I'm telling you,
Papa fight somebody.
Bro, everybody was wore out on Sunday. Everybody was wore out. We tried to make it, but Kimmer, guess what? Buddy said, Pop. Since then a lot of people show up, Pop's got some stash somewhere. So we had to go find out what's up, and heat that backbone up. All right, you have a good one. I'll talk to you soon.
Later, y'all.
All right, peace.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Kimara Snipes and Precious McKesson. We're seeing what's good in the hood for real now. It's all about the neighborhood associations. We'll take a quick break, come back. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners, and that raggedy internet. Raggedy, bro, raggedy. So it's all good. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you, really appreciate everybody's comments coming on in. Miss Erica Fell says, I want to join this fish grab. I heard that. We're gonna see what Papa Guy got going on and figure it out. Thanks to everybody who's joining us today, and I hope that you guys appreciate it as much as we did about what's happening with the ladies giving us all this information about neighborhood associations. Again, we put that challenge out neighborhood associations, it's got to go down. Join your neighborhood association this season. Start one if there is not one, and let's really kind of like let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. And I think that everything's going to start from there. We got to jump on it with what we're doing here with our first Sky Omaha family, because we're pretty much a neighborhood association, a digital neighborhood association without geo boundaries.
Yep.
And we see how we can have some discussion and we can come to some conclusions and we can get some action happening. Even we see how that's been proven now. We've been doing it over time. This is our sixth season, which means it's our third year, and of us doing this particular version of what we've been doing in media, which is having this discussion, conversation rules the nation, like Buddy says.
Yeah, man.
And so yeah, if we can fire this up with neighborhood associations and also have that thing in common where you're in the same geographic area and things that are affecting you physically are happening to your neighbors too, I can really see some progress being made there. Buddy, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking. I see Sister Kimberly. Where can we find a neighborhood association map? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Can we get a map, something that people can see? Maybe they're not aware of where they fall as far as neighborhood associations, if there is one or not. So yeah, is there a way we can get a map or some kind of resource for that? But yeah, let's push it. Let's do it, man. Again, I'm always a believer. I always say strong families build a nation. But there's a couple steps in between that, like strong families build neighborhoods and strong neighborhoods, so on and so forth. So yeah.
Right. Most deaf. Hey, we're going to jump into the haps here in just a minute. But before we get to that, just want to remind everybody that we have a class starting on Saturday. This is a 12-week course that starts this Saturday coming up. So don't hesitate. Go ahead and register with us at info@firstskyOmaha.com. Come for a couple hours so we can do an introduction and talking about citizen journalism. If you're a content creator already, if you're somebody who's already like putting stuff up on Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and everything else, I know a lot of our chat chimers are already doing that type of thing. So come and learn a few journalism skills as well, so that you can be a digital storyteller, so you can be a content creator and a citizen journalist, and help us, use the fourth estate to keep track of the powers that be, and to call them out and to get down to some action. So that's what this is all about right here. Content Creators Camp happening 2023 is the first venture into our instructions that we're going to be doing here. Free 12-week training, introduction to the elements of new media and citizen journalism. So that's going to be happening this Saturday, coming up at 10 o'clock a.m. I'll be sure to bring some coffee and some donuts over for y'all so we can get started. 10 o'clock is still a little early. A musician's morning is starts at like noon, 1. But you know what it is, 10 o'clock on Saturday. Definitely hit us up, info@First Sky Omaha, with your email address. We'll hit you back and let you know some of the details. But it will be at the Elevator building down on 1402 Jones Street. You can walk right into the building there. There'll be somebody waiting and can direct you to the area that we'll be at. And definitely want to talk to Buddy, if you have any details there about what's going to go down on that first day. Maybe you can share that a little bit.
Not in front of me. Kind of put me on the spot. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
I do know. Keitron Zyko is scheduled to be the.
Okay, cool. So I'll be there with Keitron, and that'll be good. I know this is going to be an introduction to this whole program and just citizen journalism in general. So there'll be some details there. But Keitron Zyko is a writer, a journalist. She's the one that has been doing the stories on the Black Panthers that's been in jail, Ed Poindexter and Mondo. She's did some deep dive on them and has been doing it for years. Been following this story, been very integral in trying to get them out of jail, and has been a really prolific writer. She's been writing for a lot of different organizations. Most notably for us, Noise was kind of the last iteration of her really putting some things out there. But consummate journalist, and really learned a lot from her. And this is what this is about. You're a content creator. It's all about checking it out, so that you can use your content creator skills that you already have, apply some journalism tactics to it, and be a trusted storyteller in your neighborhood. So that's what this is about. So yeah, that's really all we need to know. Just kind of wanted to know who was the instructor, and what we're going to talk about, a lot of the introduction to the whole course there. So that's what's up. Pop says,
Mm-hmm.
can the training classes be recorded and posted for those of us who can't be there? I think we might be able to put that together. Yes. We'll definitely try to get that up and running. I appreciate the suggestion, Pops.
Yeah.
We didn't have that in place, but maybe we can throw that together by Saturday there. So that's what's up. Really appreciate that very much. Mm-hmm. Thanks. I think Marianne Williams reached out. Thanks for everybody that reached out so far. Hopefully, this is one of these things where we hope all the chat chimers will be citizen journalists along with us. We already call you our co-hosts, so you might as well be our co-journalist as well. So if you if you don't have anything to do and you want to join the course, please do. And once again, I'll put it back there one more time just to let you know it is a 12-week course. It will be every Saturday until October. Well, I'll be losing these flyers all over the place. Here we go. 12-week course. It'll stretch from August 5th to October 28th. Each one is designed as an introduction to its own subject. So if you miss some, it's okay. But we highly encourage you to get that well-rounded situation there by going to all of them. We'll have a good time each time we do it. So if you can spare your Saturday mornings, come on through and let's go ahead and put it together. Content Creators Camp 2003 is going down.
Yeah, man. Or 2023, man. Took it back.
Oh, what did I say? 2003.
Yeah.
Bro, this is what happens, man. They warned me when I got old. I'd be talking about when back in the, I'll be, hey, when last week when it was 1993. That's just what it is. So sorry about that, y'all. Yeah, 2020 is happening this year. I don't believe in the concept of time. You know what it is.
Blast from the past. But yeah. Excited about that. Big shout. Paul said again, you don't have to make it to every Saturday, but if you can, we'd appreciate that. So, and yeah, going over a lot of tenets. So yeah, interested in that. Definitely. Just minutes left. We got any other?
Yeah, we're gonna jump into the haps real quick. Yeah.
What's happening? What's going down?
We'll see how long it took you to bob your head. That's how long it took you for the music to get there. Hey, we've been working with this internet situation here, so I appreciate you guys bearing with us on this. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be for us. We just had to take a little beat. But the haps, let's do the haps here in this last few minutes. One of the things that I'm really looking forward to right here, first annual Puerto Rican Fest is going down this Saturday. As a matter of fact, I think Amy H got in the chat. Yeah, she said can't do this Saturday for obvious reasons. I think this is the obvious reason. But I hope to make others. Yeah, please come through on the trainings. But this is going down after the training. I'm definitely gonna go over here and get, I'm going down. It's going down. Puerto Rican Fest is happening. We're gonna eat good. I'll just say that it's gonna be live music.
Man.
We already tested out the restaurant. Restaurant's on point for real.
Official.
So Saturday, August 5th. You see what it is? 3020 South 32nd Avenue in Omaha. So write that down and definitely go check that out. It's happening from 11 to 5. Yes, this restaurant is the truth. It's the truth. Ellie's Chinchorro presents the first annual Puerto Rican Fest. And this is something that Amy H. does. So one of our chat chimers for Sky Omaha fam helped put this together right here. She's all about it. And you got to go check it out. You see that picture on the front there. That's actually what Puerto Rico looks like. That is Puerto Rico right there. They kind of recreated this inside the restaurant, which is real innovative. Yeah, super dope. She said, bring your lawn chairs. Okay, so you can be outside really chilling. That's what's up. Bring your lawn chairs. So yeah, we'll do that. Brooke said, I need to hear some flutes.
If you let us, come through.
Oh yeah, the pina colada's off the chain too. I will say that. But please come through. We'll see you there. So after the class on Saturday, we'll be over here for the first annual Puerto Rican Fest. It's going down over at 3020 South 32nd Avenue. It's happening. Also, something that's coming up, I believe, this weekend as well is this girl fest. This girl camp is happening. I believe is it Saturday? Yeah, Saturday the 5th. Girl camp. If you happen to want to, there's other things going on that day too. On the 5th, but this is pretty a new thing that's happening. This is out at, where is the place?
Falconwood.
It's in Bellevue.
Falconwood.
Yeah. So the Falconwood. So this is something that's new to me, but I guess it's been going on for a little while. But this girl camp is brand new, and this is all girl women led. music, entertainment festival, focusing on women, music and workshops, vendors, and camping out here. So this is going to go down. I see some names that I'm excited about. Messengerix is going to be there. Crab Rangucci, my favorite DJ in Omaha. Ty Lynn is going to be in the camp. I see her name there too. DJ Angie Spence, Sand. Man, it's kind of going down here. So the Velveteers is pretty dope. So there, you know, there's some heads out here for this, and they're going to make it a thing, and I'm all for it. So if you happen to be in the Bellevue area, and that's where you reside, I highly encourage you to go check this out for sure. So anyway, yeah, Girl Camp is happening. Also, Open Omaha is going down here on August 6th. We'll be out there on Sunday. This is a chance for you to come and, come through the Benson Theater, take a tour. We're in conjunction with Open Omaha, with Omaha by Design. They do this every year. This is the opportunity for you to come and check it out, see the space, talk to us about renting the space. A couple of people are talking about doing their weddings at the space now. So, we got to just remind people that Benson Theater is not just a theater, just because it has the name theater on it. Don't just think that it's like the Blue Barn. It's really not. It's a community space that you can rent. It's a community space that we do celebrations of life at, weddings at, corporate events, all kinds of things. Come talk to us and come check out the space. First of all, have a drink with us at the bar with a new bartender, and we'll be out there chilling 11 to 3 on Sunday. So check that out for sure. And while I'm at it, we have a new happy hour going on every Tuesday at the Benson Theater as well. Happy hour Tuesdays from 3 to 7. We kind of block off the auditorium, and we just have a little lobby party, kind of like the old B-side days. And it's a nice mixer, man, nice networking thing. There's a lot of heads that are coming in, really trying to make some connections and so on and so forth. So definitely put that on your calendar for Tuesdays, 3 to 7, happy hour over at Benson Theater. We'll definitely do that. See, buddy, you got something coming in on here. Oh yeah, 4 Winds, right?
Yeah. This is what we talked about it earlier in the show.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. Big shout out to Mark Manor actually for giving us some input on. But again, this is going down at the waiting room and Reverb Lounge in the Benson area weekend. So the 5th, August 4th and 5th is going down. But as you see, a lot of names in this festival. Some I'm from my man Dale Reese, Marquise is Dead, Jay Lively, but some others that I'm not familiar with. So definitely go out. If you have some time this weekend, support local acts.
Man, lots going. Still another weekend of a lot going on. So choose your poison on that for sure. Also, one of the things that we really need to talk about that's happening today is the community share out. The Omaha's Library Plan is happening today. It's going down at 5:30. I'm actually going to be there speaking for North Omaha Public Library downtown branch, 1401 Jones Street is where this is happening. So if you want to know finally about what the ultimate plan is for the library, what they've agreed on, what they voted on, what's happening after all the outreach to the community, this is where we're going to talk about it. So this is happening tonight, 5:30 to 7. I'm going to be there speaking on behalf of North Omaha's plan, and we'll be just taking a look at it. If you haven't been to the new downtown branch, this is a good time for you to go check it out at 1401 Jones Street, and let's talk about the future of the library that's happening here for sure. More information, all these things will be in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Of course, we're running a tad bit late, but definitely still need to talk. Need to talk about a little bit. There's still that back to school supply drive that's happening over at the Rib Shack. That's my joint right there. Up until August 15th, man, just drop off some things, donate to our local community organizations, North Omaha Community Partnership. And yes, you can bring supplies. They're collecting supplies for back to school over at the Rib Shack, and go get you some ribs when you're over there too. Go get you some food while you're there for sure. The Rib Shack. I love that.
Tell them First Sky sent
you, man. That's happening until August 15th. You got plenty of time to get it down there. Mayor Sanchez, you know what it is. Last but not least, Bo Berry. Now Benson Theater's own Bo Berry has had a show in the works called Buffalo Women for the last year, and it's run into a series of issues that did not get it up off the ground. Well, Benson Theater is helping her get this up off the ground. This is happening August 18th, 19th, and 20th. She has changed the name to Six Guns Running. So Six Guns Running is the play formerly known as Buffalo Women. You definitely want to get your tickets for this. It's going to be a major event over at the Benson Theater. The storyline, bro. Black woman kills her slave master and then goes after the daughter that got sold, and they running. They 6 guns running. It's going to be off the chain. This is this is a reading and the musical to this, so you'll be able to hear all the musical that's going on. It's a Black Cowgirl musical is what she calls it. It'll be happening in concert the 18th, 19th, and 20th of August. Very interesting stuff going on from award-winning and prolific playwright Bo Berry right here from Omaha, Nebraska. So that's what's up. That's what's going on. Sorry that we went over time, but there's a little few haps that we need to really kind of talk about today. I hope to see you guys out there at the library event tonight, 5:30 at 1401 Jones Street. And yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. So really appreciate everybody who has joined us on that. And don't forget stuff coming up this weekend. We'll talk more about it on Friday for sure. If you have anything that you know about that we've missed, definitely put that on Friends of First Sky Omaha. Let us know. We want to be able to big that up as well. And that's all I really got. Buddy, you got anything else going on?
Man, not really. Again, big shout out to Sister Kimara for coming through. Kimara Snipes and Precious McKesson. Put some respect on their name for coming through and putting out the challenge, reminding people, join your neighborhood associate, join, get active, get out there. And if you're having trouble finding it or finding the motivation, let us know. What would you like to see? What would you like to have in your neighborhood associations? Because it's about boots to the roots, getting mobilized, not just having the conversation, not just coming to an understanding, but moving and building upon that understanding. So again, we appreciate everybody for the support, the love. Take care of yourselves and be safe. Until next time, Paul B, take it away.
Yo. That's right. Hit us up at info@firstskyOmaha.com. Definitely want to hear from you about coming to these Saturday events. Please sign up for that. We would love to have as many chat chimers in as we could. You're already doing the work, so you might as well come and get official with it and get a little instruction on how to expand that. So thank you. That woman said, great show. Slow day with students taking last summer vacations before play school year starts. So I was able to catch the entire show live. I love that. Drink water. Even in the rain. I heard that. Water is life. Be good to you. Appreciate you very much. Pop says, awesome show. Thanks for your dedication, Paul. Feel better. Thanks, Pops.
Yeah, man.
And love to you both. I will. I'm going to take care of myself today for sure, man. Not feeling a little under the weather, but I'm already feeling better just having these conversations with y'all. So I appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
Brooks had came in late, but glad I can go back and watch from the beginning. Yes, if you missed any of this show, you can go back and watch it in its entirety on Facebook and YouTube as well. So definitely check it out. Kimara, the email is info@firstskyOmaha.com. And remember, first is spelled 1ST. Everybody always tries to put that FIRST in there. It's 1ST Sky Omaha.com. Yeah, hit us up and sign up, and we would love to see you. We apologize. We're already 7 minutes past our agreement. We don't believe in the concept of time, but we believe in the concept of agreements. And so we apologize for moving past that. Thanks for everybody who stuck with us and was bearing with us through it all. But it's all good. We'll see you Friday with some more special guests and all that good stuff. We'll see you soon. Stay tuned. And just real quickly want to give thanks to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Thanks to our elders for allowing us to speak before them. Thanks to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. We really appreciate this conversation. Conversation rules the nation. Thanks to everybody who is a reoccurring member and sponsor of the channel as well. The $10 people, the $25 people, the $50 people. This is how we keep it going and grow these things, like the content creators camp that we're starting this Saturday. So this is how we're going to grow things and hopefully expand. Boots to the Roots season 6 is going down. And this is our effort to make it go down. And we really appreciate all of you that help us to do that. With that said, we're going to get out of here. We'll see you Friday. Take care of yourselves. Stay dry.
Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the red